What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content and all of my videos. Now, let's dive right into this thing. As you know, Jayson Tatum had a tremendous game, as well as the Boston Celtics, when they defeated the Brooklyn Nets, as Jayson Tatum just came up strong and came up big along with a couple of other players. Okay, I want to stress that too. There were a couple of other players that came up big in the key moments of that game. But as the media is not going to put that out there. They don't give credit to Marcus Smart and the tremendous defense that he was playing, even the heart that Jaylen Brown had displayed in him playing, and Robert Williams. Okay, Robert Williams. I can't stress that enough. Robert Williams, who I've talked about a lot of times. There was a lot of doubt about him and his health and everything. He's not getting any props either. All right. Now he dropped 54 points. That's great, tremendous. Uh, it'd be crazy to say that you shouldn't give him his props, especially when you think of him playing against Brooklyn, and everybody was thinking that Brooklyn was going to get the win against the Celtics, and they shouldn't be taken seriously. All right. However, however, okay, amongst me mentioning the other guys that should be given the props and everything around Jayson Tatum, Ima Udoka is the one that's truly bringing the best out of Jayson Tatum. Let me repeat that. Ima Udoka is the one that's bringing the best out of Jayson Tatum. I'm going to stress it again. Ima Udoka. He is the one that is bringing the best out of Jayson Tatum. Let me explain to you why. Listen, Jayson Tatum has always had it in him in terms of superstar quality potential, in terms of his game being kind of a mixture of fundamentally sound, also raw, and a little bit of pizzazz mixed in at the same time, sort of like what Kobe Bryant was. And look, I'm not comparing him to Kobe Bryant. Let's just get that straight, okay? Even though he's worked with Kobe, you could tell he's worked with Kobe in the way that he plays the game, okay? However, he's not no Kobe Bryant or anything. As a matter of fact, I can't really think to kind of compare him to anybody as of yet. But he does have, he's emerging right now as that superstar. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? Now let me stay on. I'm digressing. Ima Udoka has brought out the true leadership quality out of Jayson Tatum. He's even said that Jayson Tatum has been more vocal. He's been more vocal with the guys and everything, which is important, as a leader, and as seen as your franchise player. And also, he has stepped it up in terms of his defense. More importantly, now the one thing that I noticed, because he shot 15 from 30. That was excellent. That's 50%. Now, earlier in the year, he was shooting horrible. Me and the LDBC brothers, we got on Jayson Tatum about how inefficient he was, and hey, let's just be honest, he was being an inefficient shot jacker. And also, let me give a shout out to the brothers that I had already talked about this. Uh, Too Raw for TV. Definitely go sub to his channel. He had mentioned this. If you're not sub to Too Raw for TV, definitely go sub to his channel. He has multiple channels. Historian of the highest degree and one of the generals in the LDBC. Uh, you know, just tremendous content. And then also Luda Ryder Sports. Definitely go sub to his channel. One of the brothers in the LDBC. always bringing content to you, and he talks about various sports too as well. So shout out to both of those brothers for touching on this first. But the thing about it is that with Jason Tatum, he has really came on and has been very great in terms of his selection of shots. Still could get better in some areas, but I'm pleased the way that he's playing, and more importantly, he's starting to speed up his game, if that makes any sense. Because Udoka is bringing out the transition game, and they're being efficient transition. Like when you think of a guy like Pritchard who can push the ball, even White on their squad that can really push the ball. Even Marcus Smart. I think shout out to True to King TV. He brought up a good point about Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart can play the point guard too, even though he's not your what you call your prototypical point guard. He's more seen as a 3 and D guy. He could still be seen as a point guard, but more of a prototypical point guard would be Peyton Pritchard. Now I like what I'm seeing from Boston. Look, I know some of y'all don't like Boston. I know some of y'all don't like Boston, but you have to give them you have to give them your credit. I think that they are a threat in the East right now because they took down Brooklyn. Now look, I know Brooklyn, they're not at full strength, quote unquote full strength, with Ben Simmons coming out, but I wish people would stop comparing paper to reality because while it looks good on paper, we don't know how Ben Simmons is going to look first and foremost, right? We don't know how he's going to look when he gets out on the floor. We don't know how he's going to gel with KD and Kyrie, and we don't even know how his mindset is going to be. Those are three key things that you have to look at when you're talking about merging, these three players together. But you have to be pleased with what I'm a Udoka is doing. Now, I'm getting ready. I really don't care. I'm a Udoka should be in running for the coach of the year along with Monty Williams. And now I know they've slipped as of late, but uh, JB Bickerstaff. These guys right here have really done a tremendous job for what they've had to work with. And some people might disagree with me on this. Ty Lue too. Now I know the Clippers. They're not third or second like Memphis is and everything like that. But for what they've had to work with, for what Ty Lue has had to go through, not having superstars and everything, he definitely should get consideration. But Ima Udoka has done a tremendous job. They started off sluggish this year, very sluggish. If you go back and you look in the past, and especially at the beginning of the season, man, he had a lot of things that he had to put together. And I keep explaining time and time again that this is a guy that came up under Greg Popovich. He came up under Greg Popovich, so he knows what he's doing. You could tell that he definitely picked his brain because he's already said first and foremost that defense is his first forte first. And that's what you have to like about the Celtics. Now, it's nothing to take away from Brad Stevens. I think Brad Stevens is a great coach, but I think Brad Stevens is showing more that he's doing a great job in the front office in comparison to being out in the coaching position. Because sometimes, man, you can be smart, but you're smart enough to know, okay, maybe I need to step up in the front office. Danny Ainge, his time was up, and I mean at least in Boston. But then he turned right around back door, and then went to Utah. And I've never been a fan of Danny Ainge. There's nothing to take away from what he did, in Boston, but I felt like there was some decisions that he made that he kind of shot himself in the foot. But you can't never take that 2008 championship away from him. Let's just be clear, okay? Yes, you played great. You put up 54 points and everything. That's great. But I'm really as impressed as everybody is about the 54 points with Jason Tatum. Listen, I know how good Jason Tatum can be, right? Especially on the defensive end, in which he does not get that much credit for. Jason Tatum is a humble individual and he works hard. I don't think a lot of people realize how hard he works. Listen, I watched him at Duke. All these guys that come from Duke, I've watched them in high school. Jason Tatum is a hard ass worker and he's dedicated and he has really stepped it up. And who has brought that out of him? Who has made that better? I'm a Udoka. I'm a Udoka. He's bringing the best out of everybody. He's bringing the best out of Jaylen Brown. He's bringing the best out of a guy like Robert Williams. He's bringing the best Marcus Smart. And see, one can argue that Marcus Smart is more of the emotional leader than everybody on that Boston Celtics team. And he's bringing it out of them. And listen, the thing that I love the best about this team right here, about the coach really, is the fact that Ima Udoka holds them accountable. Accountability. Accountability is very important. If you're not holding, and like I said, it's nothing to take away from Brad Stevens, nothing to take away from him. But I think that Ima Udoka is better at holding them accountable. Yes, he lets them make their mistakes and everything. You know, he lets them make their mistakes or whatever, but he also holds them accountable at the same time because he realizes that they're young. But he also realizes that look, you still got to get it done. You're on your you're I know they're still young and everything, but a lot of people are still looking at Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown as okay, hey, look, y'all been to an Eastern Conference Finals before. Okay, we need to get back to that level of play again. And I think that that's what Celtics fans are really recognizing. They're recognizing that. But like I said, I'm a Udoka is in terms of his adjustments that he's made because nobody's giving him credit for the adjustments that he made down the stretch. I thought that him uh, switching out a couple of key players during the last points of that game or whatever. Well, I would say the mid points where they were in a fight and they had a dog fight with the Brooklyn Nets, and he came up big. Like I'm a Udoka and Monty Williams for what he's had to work with and everything. Yeah, I know the Phoenix Suns lost. Me and Hitman X, we talked about it and everything like that. But I think he did a tremendous job being what he had to work with. I mean, two of your main guys out. I mean, these guys right here, you dare I say, call them adjustment gods because they've had to adjust. They know how to make the necessary adjustments. Then on top of that, they know how to adjust to what's going on. The great Tim Duncan, the great Tim Duncan always said, playoffs is about making adjustments. That's what it is. And in the playoffs and however far that they get, this is going to be key. Jason Tatum, yeah, I'm not taking anything away from him. Even if he only had 15 points, you know, it would still be a productive 15 points. You know why? Because they got the win. You don't have to put up 60 points, 50 points and all this other stuff just to get the win. But listen, not taking away anything away from him because he did come through. Because people forget that Kevin Durant, he scored 37, but unfortunately he got the L. And some people go, but he scored 37. They still lost, and that's what I explained about the Philadelphia 76ers and us, facing a team, possibly like a Boston, depending on how it goes in the playoffs and everything. Listen, it's going to come down to coaching. And I'm a Udoka right now at this stage. He's a better coach than Doc Rivers. You know, these guys like Monty Williams, they're better at making adjustments than Doc Rivers. You know, so we'll have to see what takes place. Y'all let me know. Do you think that the Celtics are for real? Do you think that they've turned the corner? And what do you think of I'm a Udoka as a coach? Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. I'll get at you later.